Are you tired of losing arguments or debates? Not being heard loud enough or failing to get your point across effectively can be extremely frustrating. Even worse is that after the altercation is over, the ideas start flowing in your brain and you get angry at yourself for not responding wittingly in the moment. You see, there's a fine line between knowing what to say and when to say. So, let's turn the tables on your next debate. From outsmarting any opponent to conveying that strong burning belief effectively, your ability to communicate in these unique situations greatly dictates your success in life. The following dark psychology steps you are about to learn will transform you into a master orator. But before we begin, it's important to choose your battles wisely. Arguments with certain individuals like narcissists that always want the last laugh are not worth your time, and walking away in these particular situations is an automatic win. Refrain from the need to always have a response in these situations. Silence can be deadly because some people can't be bought or reasoned with, and they just want to watch the world burn. So make sure you set your own terms first before you engage in any argument or debate. If anyone is to speak to you, they will speak to you with a respectful tone. There is zero tolerance for disrespect. Just remember that if someone starts insulting you in an argument, it's because they are cornered and have no further arguments to back up their case. Now let's get started. Number 1, analyze your opponent. If you don't know what the goal of your opponent is or the factors that are important to them, then you can't formulate effective counter-arguments. By understanding what your opponent is after, you can neutralize their arguments before they even present them, forcing them to respond to your framework instead of building their own strong case. Imagine a telemarketer or random charity organization on the street attempting to reel you into purchasing or donating something. You know their goal is to convince you to pull out your wallet, and if you address that you don't have any money to give at the moment or that you forgot your wallet, this instantly brings their pursuit to an end because you understood their goal before they could even get started. Number 2, frame control. Framing is to guide the underlying context or perspective in the conversation by setting certain terms. This position of control allows you to determine what's relevant or irrelevant. For example, if you are selling a car, frame your pitch around the potential benefits that will be reaped from this product instead of the price or its depreciating value. By highlighting that the gains are greater and not mentioning any losses, you can steer your audience in your favor. Part of this is to reframe your opponent's arguments and challenge them on their assumptions by asking detailed questions. If you go deep enough and ask the right questions, you can likely lead them to a vulnerable situation where they can compromise their argument. Number 3, the sandwich effect. The sandwich method softens criticism by starting and ending with positive feedback. Let's say you need to address one of your employees regarding their poor work performance. You can begin with something positive they have done by highlighting their strengths followed by their mistakes, and end off with how they can transform those mistakes into opportunities. By structuring your conversation using the sandwich method, you are more likely going to stand out as approachable while they look to you as a leader and feel that there's personal growth involved. Moreover, studies have shown growth from employees that have received this type of constructive criticism and are less likely to take things personally and become hostile. Number 4, overloading. When time is limited and the pressure is high, you can bombard your opponents with a barrage of arguments within a short period of time. With this pressure, they are likely to make quick, impulsive, or irrational decisions, ultimately compromising their position. Most importantly though, make sure that you can back up any argument you make with concrete facts, and it's even better if you can reference them to a particular source. This will give you more credibility and people are likely to trust your words. You want to make sure that you are not too aggressive when overloading, as speaking over and interrupting will only have you come across as arrogant and annoying, affecting your credibility. Which brings me to my next point. Number 5, active listening. You cannot listen to what somebody is saying and plan your response at the same time. Active listening requires undivided attention. Never interrupt. A part of active listening is not just listening to what your opponent is saying, but paying attention to their body language and facial cues, as they can paint a whole different picture. The more you listen, the more you can reference back what they're saying. Always listen first, and once you have fully understood, then start thinking about your response. And lastly, number 6, practice. The art of eloquence comes from mastering the bread and butter of communication. Make a habit of adding one new word to your vocabulary every day by giving yourself some reading time to learn about something of interest. Then grab a pen and paper and summarize what you learned by applying this new word in your own example. Practicing the basic fundamentals of reading and journaling will massively boost your ability to articulate your thoughts and increase your ability to be concise. You should always make a habit of getting your point across with as few words as possible. Less words that hold weight will always be stronger than just rambling on and on. The more you practice this, the more you will increase your response time in pressured situations. Remember to always think before you speak. Using pauses and staying calm before giving a response will train your brain to articulate your thoughts effectively. After all, practice makes perfect. Right, so why don't you smash that subscribe button when you're ready to master your mind and start taking things more seriously. Here's my card.